Good morning. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody in the States. Welcome back. Welcome to the channel. My name is Joe Josh. I go by iChart Daily. Today is November 28th, 2024. Very quick, very simple video. The technical analysis that I told you in the last video is playing out. I'm going to give you factual information that's in the charts to back up my technical analysis. I'm not going to give you news articles or speculation. So, first things first, this is not financial advice. This is for educational purposes only. I have been doing technical analysis for 17 years now. Because of that, in my experience in the game, meaning I've been invested in crypto for almost 10, 11 years now, I have experienced multiple halvenings, multiple cycles, and I have formed very, very thick skin to the BS, cuzzy. The BS is when someone comes out and says, Bitcoin's going to this price, but there's no technical analysis to back it up. It's just pure speculation and only their opinion. And there are certain rules that I follow to take the emotions out of my investing and out of my trading, and it has helped me greatly over the last 10, 20 years. And first things first is I trust charts over people. What does that mean? Well, when certain things are playing out in the indicators like the MACD, the RSI, moving averages, market bottom indicator, these indicators form based off of mathematical equations and price action. There's no opinions in a MACD, there's no opinions in an RSI. So if something happens, you could back test it on every single asset. You could literally look at gold, algo, the Dow Jones, the dollar, anything you think of. And when certain things play out like a death cross or when something's overbought, the asset usually follows it. So with that in mind, let's go into Bitcoin. In my last video, I was preparing you guys for potentially blood on the horizon. I mentioned that Bitcoin could potentially stay flat for a couple days to a week or two because all of the profit from the altcoins that have been pumping for the last month or two that are up couple hundreds percent, meme coins, possibly a couple thousand percent. Usually what people do is they put their money back to Bitcoin. Unfortunately, I believe that time is coming to an end. And once again, here's the facts in the charts. The first thing I look at is long-term trends, meaning weekly, 2-week, 3-week, monthly. If I'm seeing something playing out on those time frames, whether it's bullish or bearish, I bet with that first, then I zoom in. What does that mean? Well, I mentioned in the last video that I have an alert, I don't know where it is, at the 69.27. The reason being is if we do come back into section A, this is A plus when we are above the 70 line, okay? We could stay above the 70 and have major pumpage. If we break the 70 and come back into section A, which is the 70 to the 50, that shows me that there is room to bleed. When there is room to bleed on a weekly chart, that means you're going to have bearish swing trades on the daily, 12-hour, 4-hour, and 1-hour, right? So if your weekly is pointing down, that means your daily is doing this, steps on the way down. You understand? Excuse me. Now, a couple other things. Let's go into the charts. We buy at support so that I could take profit, well, we could take profit at resistance. Here is support, here is resistance. Now, could we break this 100,000? Possibly, but I do think we're on the verge of a consolidation, right? Everything happens in waves. So you can see here, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. We are now in wave 6. If this was to be a continuation pattern, the last low here was 50 to 53,000. If we were to come back to 72,000, fill the CME gap, that still remains bullish because the lows continuously get higher, okay? Now, want to explain something. When, excuse me, here we are now, okay? And I mentioned another rule. Trend lines go with trend indicator, meaning on a daily or longer time frames, not on the shorter time frames. You could see here when the daily MACD death crossed, we had pumpage to the upside. Beautiful swing. When the MACD death crossed, we had blood and we stayed pretty much flat. So as of right now, the MACD has death crossed as of November 25th. And because of that, the uptrend that I had, if you remember the white line, needs to be deleted and void. And because we're still in section A, we potentially could go flat for a little bit. And what does that mean? Well, you could see here, I mentioned in the last video that what was support could turn into resistance in a continuation pattern to the downside, okay? If we have a continuation pattern to the downside, that means the waves, right? Here is wave 1. Now we're forming wave 2. We're going to be making lower highs and potentially the same lows because we're still in section A, okay? So what does that mean? How do I confirm that? The confirmation, by the way, this is what I mean by I'm posting all of my plays in the community tab on my YouTube channel, right? I'm not going to make a new Discord. I'm going to make a Fiverr account to make it very simple. And if you want to do a video request, you could just put the video request there, give me 24 hours, I'll make a video on your coin, asset, commodity, whatever you want me to chart, right? But I posted, this is the most important thing. The RSI, I'll just show you here, went bullish to bearish, okay? Bullish is when we are making higher lows and higher highs. Once again, everything in life happens in waves. Bullish waves go up, bearish waves go down. The first thing that showed me that we potentially could break is that, like I just told you on the weekly, right? We were in section A+, we formed a lower high, we were forming bearish divergence, which is when your indicators are showing you the waves are making lower highs, but the price action was making higher highs. That told me that we were going to have blood on the horizon, and we fell from 99,000 down to 90,000. Now, because we went from section A plus right here down into section A, we came back up and saw resistance from the 70 or the 66. It's a range, obviously. This shows me that we have room to bleed. Once again, 70 to the 50. The 50 is where you'd like to buy during a continuation pattern. Now, what does that mean? That means we're coming back down to 90,000 again. And we need to see if we bounce off of the 50, okay? If we break into section B, we're going to break the 90,000 and head down towards the 87. Okay, that's like here. You understand? See how we were in section A, we bounced. Once we broke into section B, it was lower highs, lower lows, until we broke back above again. So we are here. Once again, I have my alert at, I'm going to lower it to right below the wick of this 94,785. Right now we're at 95,429. And once again, if we were to break, we're breaking right down to the 91,000. That will demolish all of the alts that are potentially bleeding toward, like right now, XRP, volumes coming down. MACD looks like it's about to death cross in a couple days, right? This is a daily chart. Every bar represents a day of trading. It's the same thing over and over, Cuzzy. I'm looking at the RSI. It's making lower highs. I want to see if it breaks the moving average, goes down to the 70. If it breaks the 70, then uses it like the same way we just saw Bitcoin, and we do something like this, that means we have major room to bleed. If we have major room to bleed, we're breaking the zeros, 1441. That means we're heading back into the trend. If we go back into the symmetrical triangle, that means there's a ton of room to bleed. And that means we are not going to be in the greed zone anymore. That will be the beginning of the downtrend for the alts, meaning that we have days of weeks of blood to reconsolidate all the way back to, let's just say, the 75 cents level. Once again, the reason why I keep thinking this is there is a CME gap from 81,000 to 77,000. It also lines up with your last liquidation zones, which were 75 to 76,000. What was resistance will turn into support. So Bitcoin could come down from 99 to, let's just say, 75, have a healthy 25% correction, go back to the moving averages, like I said, and this would just be another healthy consolidation. Anyone that bought from 80 to 90 to 100,000 is down money. They're kicking themselves in the behind, saying, why did I listen to Jim Cramer? That's the video. Very short and simple. Once again, alert set at the 95. I would also set an alert at the 90 so that if this is forming, let's just say, a descending triangle, right? A descending triangle is the same lows with lower highs each time, somewhat bearish. We would break the 91 once again once we break the 50. Excuse me. A descending triangle would be something like this. We went from here, we came down. This wave did absolutely nothing. Everyone was like, oh my God, we're pumping again. Joe's technical analysis is void. He doesn't know what he's talking about. That doesn't make any sense because the last high here was 99. We came back down to 90. We formed a lower high at 97. That fuels the weekly breaking down, okay? We needed to break the 99,000. We came down, came up, and now we have potential to come back down. If we see support at 90 and come back up, we're going to see resistance right here at the 95, right? Because we saw resistance in the past. Also, that was present support. Present support will turn into present resistance. I'm sorry, current support will turn to present resistance. So we'll come down, use this again. This would be a measured move. You would take the body of the descending triangle, bring it to the breakout, showing us that we're going right to the 85 to potentially the 81,000. That's the video. Love you guys. Appreciate the support. Set your alerts, right? Once again, alert at 94.785. I would also set an alert at the daily RSI right below your most recent low here of the 61, right? The reason why I say that is these waves are making lower highs, lower lows. Once again, this is one high, lower high, lower high, right? Low, lower low. Now I'm curious to see if we break this low, go to the 50. If we go to the 50, we stop at the 90,000. I would also set an alert at the 49.70 on the daily, notifying you that you are going into section B, notifying you that you are breaking 90,000. I don't know if it happens today, tomorrow, but once again, if you're not in front of the computer, the alerts are your best friend. And once again, trend lines are going down because the trend lines go with the trend indicator. Love you guys. Appreciate the support. Once again, enjoy the day. Happy Thanksgiving. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, please leave it on my YouTube channel. You could even leave it on this post right here. Once again, appreciate the 7 likes, but I am looking to grow the YouTube channel. I am not looking to grow the Discord. I hope you appreciate that. Enjoy the day.